Hey, so today I'm going to be doing a video on OneRev, and I'm also going to be doing an update at the end of this video about where I've been and what's going to be next. So if you care about that, just stick around to the end, but let's get right into it. So a OneRev is a piece of TNT that shoots up your sand and your hammer so that it can shoot farther without dipping. So let me give you an example. So say that you're shooting like a normal cannon, right? So what will happen is uh, your sand and your hammer will come at the wall. But eventually, because of gravity, it will start dipping a little bit, so it'll end up down here or farther down, right? And that's not good because you want to be shooting at the same spot so that you don't dip. So what a OneRev does is it has your hammer and your sand like normal, but inside the sand block you have a piece of TNT that shoots it up slightly. It's not exactly like this, and that would be barrel stacking, but anyway, it shoots it slightly up and then hammers it down. So that's pretty much all it is. It's very simple. It's just one piece of TNT that you have to add. You need to change it to your hammer and then add ticks on your hammer. So I'm going to go into all of that though. So first let's talk about your timings. So what I do, I like to have um, my hammer 8 redstone ticks after my second power. So usually it's 3 for a normal cannon, but for OneRev I do 8. Some people do 7, but I just like 8 and I haven't had any issues with 8, so I'm going to explain 8 in this video, but you can do the same thing with 7 ticks on your hammer. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So first, uh, I'm going to, so this part's wired from my first power, so I'm going to count it um, with the blaze rod. So this is going off 18 redstone ticks. My first power is. So now let's count my second. Or no, sorry, that means my second's going off at 20. So now let's count the hammer, what it should be at. So just because how I have it wired, it's like this. So currently my hammer is on 23. So that makes sense because my first power is on 18, second power would be on 20, and then my hammer would be on 23 because your hammer is 3 redstone ticks after your second power. So we want to get it to 28, right? Because 8 redstone ticks after my second power is how I do my OneRev. So I'm going to add 5, and then just at 23 right now, so this should be it. Let me count to make sure, but it should be at 28 now. Alright, so there we go. Now it's at 28. So now let's fix the dispensers on our hammer. So for 8, um, for the OneRev that I'm doing, which is 8 ticks after, I use 306 hammer. If you're doing 7, I think you use 305. Um, but just play around with it. Yeah, it should be 305, maybe 306. But so usually it's a 295 dispenser hammer. So just count it, make sure that you change it to 306. So I'm just gonna count it for you real quick and show you. So as you can see, 306 hammer. So last thing we have to do is just add a OneRev. So that one piece of TNT that I talked about shoots up. So to add a OneRev, very simple. Most people add it onto their nukes or inside their nukes, but you just need to make sure that it comes out on your first shot, because remember, it ends up at the bottom of the stack inside your sand. So I'm gonna add it into my nuke here, and okay, so the timing's on OneRev. So like I said, the hammer's 8 ticks after your second power, right? Your OneRev needs to be 5 ticks after your second power. So it's a 3 tick gap. But if you're doing 7 ticks after your if you're doing a 7-tick 1 rev on your hammer, then it's also 5 as well. So just keep it 5. Um, you know, there are other ratios that I'm not going to go into in this video, but um, you're going to put your 1 rev 5 ticks after your second power for this purpose. So let me count real quick. See if that's enough. Yes, that's 25. Okay, so now it's 25 redstone ticks, and remember my first power is at 20, so that's a 5 redstone tick difference. So just to recap, my 1 rev is on 8 redstone ticks after my second power. Or sorry, my hammer is on 8 redstone ticks after my second power. My 1 rev is on 5 redstone ticks after my second power, and I changed my hammer to 306 instead of 295. So let's fill and let's fire and make sure that this works. As you can see, that works perfectly. So yeah, that's pretty much 1 rev. And now I'm gonna go on to the update part of my video that I was talking about, like where I've been, so, if you guys don't already know, I'm going to college, so if I do make uploads, they're not gonna be as frequent, but I'm planning on still uploading if I have topics that I need to cover. But yeah, so I'm gonna be making an anti-clip video, which is pretty much you add it onto your 1 rev sometimes if you want to. I'm gonna have that come out either tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow though. And yeah, so I don't have too much time before college. I have about a week of me actually being home, not on vacations. So I'm gonna try to pump out as many videos as I can, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video.